Hey guys, Warsaw here, and today we're going to be giving new tanks a tip. And it usually depends your whole circumstance, but the main tip is do not be bullied in your own key or be bullied in another key for a route, etc. Right? Now again, circumstance is everything, the level that you're doing at, your own skill level, it just all depends, right? But we're going to show examples of this and you'll see. So we had a 19 caverns yesterday. I invited this Og and his butt buddy who he's boosting, his outlaw rogue friend, and everyone else is obviously a pug. Shaman asked for a route. Now I have posted my 19 route, and this is exactly what I was going to do. I've done it on a 19. I one shot it. I only did it once on a 19, completed it just right then and there. And obviously we're on EU, so we're doing the 19 again. And this Og goes, oh, no. That is no bueno. I said, timed on 19, bro. What you no about? Of course, he links his own route. This is not that spicy. Can send more spicy if you want. Now, this is the thing. I don't understand going into someone else's key. You don't like their route. It's not the route that you've been doing with your 5-man, and you don't like it. I mean, what do you expect? Kind of thing, right? So this is his route, and of course he was really edgy that Scotty doesn't know that 9/11 was an inside job. Man, he doesn't. He's not as edgy as me. But if you could glance at this real quick, there's no way you're gonna have a pug tank do this, right? I'm used to my route. I know exactly what I'm gonna grab. And of course, you're not going to grab, like I'm not going to do this on a 19 that I need, something high end like this to where there's not that many keys available, whatever, and just wing it. And remember, because like this first part is pretty normal. I don't do this, but I may start doing it like Charles has done it and other people as well. You know, they grab this, they come into here, they grab this, avoiding this whole pack, and then they come in here. This is kind of weird to me. And then you come, drop down, whatever the case, you pull these, which is totally fine, right? But the point is that I've never done it, at least this part, this way. And I'm just going to be like, what? Where is this? Where is that? Like, do we really want to be doing this in a 19? And I know he's going to be pinging to grab this, to grab that. I ain't about that life, right? Then we get to this fun part down here, which this seems horrible because someone's gonna have to interrupt the soul render. So do we trust all of these hugs to do it, to make this pull happen? Am I gonna be able to grip all these bats that I need to grab as they're flying around if they're not rotating around? Also, this pull looks cancerous as fuck. How am I good as DK gonna go from there to there? Now, of course, he was a Og, he could push me a little bit, but still this and then this, like what the fuck is this? And then no explanation that I'm guessing a shroud is going to happen, and then we're going to bypass and kind of go into there. To do this in a pug, to just, oh yeah, this is what I'm used to, you're going to do this. Nah, this isn't about that life. And then on top of that, my route is fine. I've done it on a 19, and we would have, so here's the thing, we did not time my 19 caverns, but the second to last boss, we have one death because the shaman got aggro and it was totally my bad. With my route that he said, no, that was too spicy. I think that's pretty good. And on top of that though, but like, here's the thing, we did not time this caverns because I invited an Og, and basically everyone decided that, you know, there was going to be no damage for the bubble, and everyone at some point was just going to start falling over. Hold on, I'm trying to fast forward here. It's going to happen around here where the paladin says no damage and everyone starts falling the fuck over, right? The mobs weren't a problem. The route wasn't the problem. Just this boss, and of course the last one where the warlock forgot to get out of the circle and died and we had no res and it was Jover. But overall, the route was fine. If you have good routes, or you know that they're good routes, or they're decent, or you know that, like again, for me, I went from US to EU. I've already done 19s. I know the routes that I have made or I stole or whatever the case are good enough to do the 19s. I'm not going to be bullied by a retarded Og or a retarded monk or the DK a couple weeks ago who literally tried to take over my key and tell me exactly what to pull and where, because he was again trying to boost a friend. I know my routes work. Whatever the route I'm using, I know it works. I'm not going to do your fucking route. And I don't think other tanks should not be doing that route, especially if they're not comfortable with it or they don't know, or if it's like a progression key or something. Again, if you were like in a 5-man and your friend tells you to do this route, okay, cool. Or you're going to, if you're going to go test out a route in a 12 a couple times and then, okay, we're going to do your 19 key, like, okay, that makes way more sense than popping into a pug to boost your friend or by yourself, link your route. I don't like your route. You're going to do this. No, I'm not. While you're retarded by. He did not say that, by the way, the Og. He just said good luck, which he could eat my shit for. Now we sort of have another example about this, but it is not our key itself. It is this monk here. He has 18 res. I'm sorry, 19 res. And he wanted to do things that I'm guessing he's either done in a 5-man or he did with higher level players who were all on the same page or something of that nature. Now, maybe somewhere someone has done it, but he was asking me for the pyromancer pull. I didn't know what this meant. I was not going to do any pyromancer pull. This is a pug. Nothing is coordinated. Nothing is true. So we failed the first attempt because the hunter didn't lust. And basically I would chalk that up as communication. Someone should have pinged him or told him beforehand. So again, communication is another key component in all of this, but we're going to run. Right. This was about like 2 or 3 days ago or something like that. Actually, no, this was Sunday, I think. And so so you pull the whole hallway and you kind of run all the way over here. Now, of course, the paladin dies. I may not have had aggro or someone charged him as he was running. He used no defensives whatsoever. The hunter uses a turtle. And I just kind of stand here. The only thing that I really fuck up on is that I gore fiend too early. I kind of just fat fingered it right here. And I didn't really get all of them. But other than that, this is the pyro. And again, the monk claimed, it's res. He wanted to try it. It's just a waste of time. Nothing is going to really make this, like, we're almost successful, but it's the irony of it that it's a pug and all that other stuff is that, so the paladin died, he came back, the hunter came back, he still has survival of the fittest, died to something of that nature. What did he die to here? Yeah, he had survival of the fittest up. Maybe he got bolted, whatever the case, right? So we're going through the motion, and as you could see, I'm watching it, right? I've already interrupted something. We don't have Gore Fiend, and you can't use it on the Pyroblast anyways, but you can see the Pyroblast up here targeting our monk. I'm pretty sure one of these interrupts are up at some point. We're at 9 seconds here, and of course, it's just going to one-shot the monk. And then he's going to call a vote to abandon because now everyone's going to be dying because no one wanted to interrupt. Again, pug things, this is why we don't do that kind of thing, right? Now, of course, he said, again, he did want to retry that. He did want to try it. It was a res. But again, a pug to coordinate, to use CDs, to do this, to make sure someone's always interrupting the power. It's a little bit too much. Could it be an efficient pool? Yeah, of course. You probably saw it somewhere, did it somewhere. I've never seen it, never heard of it because I don't fucking watch anyone else, because I only watch me because I am the best in the world. But, okay, wanted to try it. But again, a waste of time overall. Right. So ironically enough, this time I didn't do it. I was like, fuck this. No one actually did it. I wasn't going to deal with it. We were just going to do the normal. But then this is where I think I threw everyone off, and I'll take some blame for it as well in this next part. Now, usually for these worms, I would sit here, AMZ just before they died or not, and we would kill them all and get the damage, right? And in some other pulls, they want you to into the rune blade and around the corner. Now, we did do this successfully the first time-ish. I think the warlock died, but I think the monk had cooldowns. Now, we're going to guess right here. Maybe the monk, I threw off the monk because I was like, I'm going to do my own thing now at the beginning. And he was just like in his head, okay, cool, whatever. But again, we're not communicating at all. And then I decide to do this, which requires some kind of CD setup and all that kind of stuff. And basically, everyone's going to get butt fucked. People already use some of their CDs because of the charge and other things of that nature. He has fortifying brew, the survival of the fittest. He ain't got shit, kind of thing. Along with this and other teleports and people get molested. And he didn't even pop fortifying brew. So, and then that was it. So doing these kind of things that either, require a 5-man, require preemptive knowledge of how it's going to go, and people who have already done it, you're not going to get this in the pugging universe. And I'm going to show an example here So when I did my Magistrate's Terrace 19, I did it with 2 people who did 20s, and that was again like 3 weeks ago, some or longer, I don't fucking remember. And when we finished the dungeon, we completed it with my own route. They said I did it like shit. And then they linked me this route. Now, there's only 2 instances that I modified, but we'll get into that. Immediately, they had a squiggly line here. Obviously, this is meant for Brewmaster, where you can, I forget what the AoE is called, I can't remember it, it looks purple, that you can grab these 2 and pull them in here, and then you can lust, right? Because obviously people like lusting here, so then you can lust, pull 10 and make it easier, right? So obviously then it makes pull 2 easier because you don't have these guys, the enforcers, you know, all that kind of stuff. But since we're a DK, we can't do that. So already he's already linking me a route that I'm unable to do in a certain and things will have to change. So that's the first thing I'm like, I laughed at. I was like, okay, cool. Pulling this is fine. Pulling this is fine. But that's where this comes in, right? We have pull number 7. And they have it to where 7 is pulled into 8. Everyone has to be on the again, this is a pug. Everyone's got to be on the same page. And from the inflated gear, the inflated IO, inflated everything, you just ain't gonna fucking do it. Now, I think the Warlock and the DK, if I remember them correctly, I think they were friends. So most likely they played with other high-end friends, and this is what they do to save time. This is a pug, you know, and we still timed that 19, and I'm pretty sure we would have timed that 19 Magistrate with the monk beforehand. You know, we would have timed it by just doing this route. You know, nothing too crazy, just fucking normal shit, and just GG and lock skip and call it a day. But he wanted to try different things or whatever, and everyone be on the same page, and it's just a waste of fucking time. Overall, in conclusion is this, right? Sometimes you have to take little bits of information or things that you think are good and incorporate them into your route. But overall, just do not be bullied into something that you know you're going to fail at, or you're not practice at, or you just don't know where anything is. I don't care if this person is a super high or not. Let's say you like the route, but you're just not going to do it for your key because you need to practice it or see it like I do. I'm a seer to believer. So let's give it just an overall quick recap. Do not be bullied into doing other routes that you are unfamiliar with in keys in general, unless it's a small deviation, right? We did a pit once and someone's like, I like your route. Can you just skip this gargoyle? Okay, cool. We skip the gargoyle, no problem, right? But if you're going a completely different route and I have no idea what to grab or where it's located, just don't do it. Now, of course, if it's a superior route, you can take it and then go try it in a 12 and do it a couple times and then come back and do your key that you're progressing on or something. That you can do because then you've already tested it, but just right then and there expecting to raw dog it and then for you to expect what everything is doing and then everyone else, no. It's just... I've had it happen to me more than once, this kind of backseat bullshit, and I've had enough of it. It's just so stupid, and I think it's going to fuck over a lot of people who, again, if you weren't, I'm not saying like I'm the most experienced, but I've already done, as I've said, the 19, at least half of the 19s. I know that my routes work. I'm not going to let someone tell me that my routes don't work because I've already done. I moved from US to EU. People don't know anything. They're just used to whatever the fuck they're used to, and they want you to do what they want. That's not how this game works. It can be played multiple ways, and if it's successful, you can keep using it. If not, you know, you could change it, just like I've mentioned before. But just like, you know, I understand that my first pulls here may not be great, and I'm probably going to adopt at some point Charles's route of gathering this, coming into the river, gathering this, and I'm doing something modified like this. I really don't like this, but like you can take bits and pieces you like and add them to your route and change it. This is what the fucking video game is meant for. To literally be played, to think about, to try different things and do things a different way, right? Again, take everything with a grain of salt, don't be bullied, and all that stuff. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see y'all Thursday.